Hello and welcome to another Zach Carnage video, and today I'm going to be showing you a link format combo. Basically this is a very long combo using plants and Zoodiacs, and this is the final board that you end up with. These two are actually interchangeable, so you can have your Honeybot protecting your Nat Beast or your Trident, as well as the Firewall Dragon, and the effect of the Firewall Dragon will have been used. So without further ado, let's get into the combo. So this is a 2-card combo. It will involve you having all of these cards within your main deck somewhere. You will actually need to draw into some sort of special summonable monster like a Photon Thrasher or a Gofu, something like that, anything really that does the job. And a Lone Fire Blossom has to be the other card that you'll get into your hand. Or of course this can be some low-level plant and then a super solar nutrient to get into your Lone Fire Blossom as well. So you just need these two, and the rest have to be in your deck somewhere. For the extra deck, the combo is actually going to go through 15 cards, so you do have to run these specific 15 cards, although obviously there are variations on the combo which can run a few different cards in different places, and some of the Zoodiac cards are basically interchangeable. Like you could basically play a Tiger Mortar instead of the Hammer Kong here and stuff like that, or instead of the Borbo here, which is probably a better option. So you can see that we are, of course, using the Link monsters because this is meant to be a Link format combo, and you'll see all of these monsters individually throughout the combo. Keep in mind that at the end of it, you will actually have some of your extra deck monsters back into the extra deck because we're going to be shuffling them back, so you don't have to worry about not having any resources left for the following turn. So the Link playmats themselves aren't actually available yet, and I realized I have an abundance of Pokemon cards lying around. So basically this is the structure of the zones that we're going to be using. We don't really care too much about the spell and trap zones. We're just going to be using one of them, I think twice in all, and then obviously Graveyard and Deck in the standard locations. So I've just got these 2 water energy for the Link zones, and then these 5 are our 5 monster zones. Very important to keep track of which one is which for the combo, because otherwise you'll have your monsters in the wrong places and they won't be linked properly and you won't be able to get the combo off. So to get through this combo you're going to need a couple of things. First of all, you need a Lone Fire Blossom or a way into a Lone Fire Blossom. As discussed a little while ago, you can of course go through a Super Solar Nutrient to get that out. Then you need a special summonable monster, so it could be a Photon Thrasher, a Gofu, anything like that. And then you want 3 other cards, which is your hand. So the idea is that you need to be able to draw into some monsters, so ideally you want most of the main deck to be packed full of monsters anyway. I mean, this is a Link-based deck, so you're likely to have some of the rescue cards in here as well, but I just wanted to show a combo that didn't really involve any of the rescue cards, and just sort of focused on some of the older cards, although there will be some future cards coming out in this set. So the combo is based on the upcoming ban list with only 2 rat. This does involve Zoodiacs, so you're going to need to get your hands on those as well. But let's just get into the combo. So you start off by summoning the Photon Thrasher. It's got to go to one of these 2 zones, doesn't really matter which one. And then you can summon your Lone Fire Blossom. Use its effect, it goes to the grave, and we get an Offerus Scorpio out. So this is one of the cards which hasn't yet been released, but will be in the very near future. You can then use its effect. We get rid of one of our monsters in the hand, so in this case a Numel, and bring up the Darling Cobra, which will trigger to give us an instant fusion to the hand. You can do variations of the combo with Brilliant Fusion and other things, but this is just one version, so I'm showing you the instant fusion version. With these 2 monsters we can overlay into our Link zone for the MX Saber Invoker. Activate its effect, detaching a material. It doesn't matter which material you detach for this combo, and that will summon out the Zoodiac Rapier. So then these 2 monsters, being Earth, can be used for our Link summon to make Mrs. Radiant. So this is our first Link monster in the combo. She's probably one of the best ones, given that she's based on some pretty cool, nifty old cards, and also she's very easy to go into and has these lovely diagonal links, which is very important for the rest of it. So now we have the instant fusion. We can activate that to summon out an Elder Entity Norden. It's got to go to one of these 2 zones, so we put it in this one. That will cost us 1,000 life points, but then we will also get a Zoodiac Rapier out of the grave. Now we can start doing some Zoodiac shenanigans. So we can go into a Borbo here, and then a Broadbull. Activating its effect to search will allow us to add Lunalight Black Sheep to the hand. This in itself can be discarded to search for a fusion substitute, which will come in handy later. And the other effect of Broad Ball, detaching the Rapier, will summon another Rapier from the deck. So with this Broad Ball, we can then go into Leica. Again, it's another card which is coming out very soon. Leica, you can detach a material to special summon one of the Zoodiacs from the grave. So we summon the Rapier back out. Next up, we want to make our second link summon, so we're going to summon the Firewall Dragon, and we will use the Rapier, the special summon monster, so the Photon Thrasher, and the Mrs. Radiant, which of course counts for 2 of the links because it is a link 2 monster. So with these cards going to the grave, we can summon out the Firewall Dragon. Next up, we want to do an XZ summon, so we can now go into the zone directly below the Firewall Dragon to summon Digesto Emerald. And we want to put the Norden back so that we can activate this fusion substitute. So we will detach the Norden, and then we want to shuffle away the Norden, the Rapier, and then it's pretty much anything that you want. I tend to go for Mrs. Radiant just in case we want to bring it out a little bit later. So these will go back into the deck, or the extra deck, and this is the current state of the board, and then we of course get a draw off that, so let's take a Nummel out. Then we want to activate the fusion substitute. These 2 monsters can become the materials necessary for summoning out the Norden again. So Norden can only go here. So this will trigger the effects of both Firewall Dragon and Norden. So Firewall Dragon is going to be summoning a card from the hand, and Norden is going to be summoning one from the grave. So Norden will bring us back one of our Rapiers, and then the Firewall Dragon has to summon a monster from the hand, so it's not really too big of a deal as long as it is a monster card, so you will need to have drawn into a monster card at this stage. So there we go. So these 3 cards will go into our next link summon. We do require that Nummel is actually an effect monster for this to go through, because we're going to be summoning Decode Talker, which is a link 3 monster that requires 3 effect monsters. This will trigger the effect of the Firewall Dragon to summon a monster from the hand, and we're going to chain its effect to add a card from the graveyard to the hand. That's the one where it has to have a mutual link. So in this case it only has 1 mutual link, so we can only add 1 card. So chain link 2, we add the Lone Fire Blossom from the grave to the hand, and then chain link 1, we get to summon it out. Then we can activate the Lone Fire Blossom's effect. It goes to the grave, and we get a Dandelion out of this, which is pretty nifty to say the least. Then these 2 cards we can use for a link 4 summon. We of course have the link 3 Decode Talker here and just a Dandelion here. And this is how we're going to summon our next Firewall Dragon. Then we have a bunch of effects triggering here. So we have the effect of Dandelion, which is going to summon 2 tokens. We have the effect of this Firewall Dragon for a card that was sent to the grave while linked to it, which is going to special summon 1 from the hand. And then we also want to activate the during either player's turn during either player's turn effect of this Firewall Dragon, which is going to add a card from the graveyard to the hand again. So once more, we're going to add the Lone Fire Blossom, this time as Chainlink 3. Summoning it will be Chainlink 2, and then the 2 tokens for the Dandelion will be our Chainlink 1. So this is the current state of the field. Don't forget that you'll be able to activate the effect of Fusion Substitute, banishing it, in order to put your Norden back into the extra deck, and then you get to draw a card. So let's just take another Nummel for now. And we need one of these 4 cards to be a monster. Considering that there are going to be a lot of monsters in this deck, I would say at least 30 of the cards should really be monsters for the amount of combos that we've got going on here. Then one of these is probably going to be a monster. So we can activate the effect of Lone Fire Blossom, send it to the grave to summon a Glow Bulb from the deck, which will of course trigger the Firewall Dragon effect, so then we get to summon a monster out from the hand. So with these 4 monsters, we're going to be performing another link summon. So we actually want to link summon for 4, so 2 tokens and the Glow Bulb and this Charmander will go to the grave, and then we'll be able to summon out the 3rd Firewall Dragon. So this will trigger the effect of the Firewall Dragon to summon 1 from the hand, and we can chain the effect of this Firewall Dragon to add 1 from the grave. And instead of adding a Lone Fire Blossom, we're now going to add a Zoodiac Rapier. very important for the combo, as chain link 2 and then chain link 1 we summon out the rat pit. So all of these 3 Firewall Dragons have used their once per duel effect, and of course we've used the effects to summon from the hand multiple times at this stage. So this zone is actually linked, which means that we are going to be able to perform additional summons into it. So we can start off by summoning a Hammer Kong into it, and then we can go into a Drident here. So we can activate the effect of Drident granted by the rat here to summon the rat that we've shuffled back into the deck, and we can summon that back out. So let's just put it here for now. Then we have a Glow Up Bulb in the graveyard, so we can activate its effect by sending the top card of our deck to the grave. In our case it's Phoebus, and then that will summon out the Glow Up Bulb from the grave. So this is the field. We're nearly done now, so we can start by performing a Synchro Summon with the Glow Up Bulb and Zoodiac Rat Peer, which allows us to go into the Natiri Beast. This is in a linked zone, as you can see, and now we're going to perform our final special summon, and we want to summon Honeybot, which does require 2 Cyberse type link monsters, or Cyverse, depending on what they decide to go with in the end. So all 3 of these Firewall Dragons are Cyverse monsters, and they can all be treated as Link 1 for the purpose of this Link Summon. So it's really up to you which 2 you want to go for, although I wouldn't recommend putting your Honeybot here. So really it's up to you. I would tend to put it here next to the Nat Beast, because if we get rid of these 2 materials then it will be linked to by this Firewall Dragon. Although obviously you can just get rid of this Firewall Dragon instead and have it protecting your Drident. So we end the combo with these 4 monsters on the field, 3 cards in hand, and most of your extra deck in the graveyard actually. Although cards that remain in the extra deck, we do have a Mrs. Radiant and an Elder Entity Norden for future plays. So as you can tell, this combo isn't really about setting up for future turns. It's more about creating a board which should be fairly difficult for your opponent to deal with. You'll be able to negate any spells that you want, provided you've got enough cards in your deck, which is highly likely. Also, Honeybot will protect your Nat Beast and your Firewall Dragon from targeting and destruction by battle. Although, of course, if you wanted it on this side, you could have it protecting your Drident instead. So Drident is your main way of dealing with problems in this case. And I'm not sure which I prefer, having the Drident or an active Firewall Dragon, because Drident can of course deal with problems essentially eternally by sending them to the graveyard, whereas Firewall Dragon, you know, it can deal with a few more problems. So that's it for the combo. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, please leave those in the comment section down below. Don't forget to tell me if there are any problems that you notice with this combo. I didn't spend masses of time working on it, maybe just an evening and a bit. So, you know, if there's anything that's wrong with it that needs to be fixed, let me know and I'll try to deal with it in as prudent a way as possible. Obviously, it's not ideal in the way that it ends up. It does create a very, very cool board. It's just unfortunate that it uses so much of your extra deck. It's surprising how little of the main deck it actually uses, and I really have to say that the way that this Link Summoning combo style, generally online with the community, is going, it really doesn't seem like links are going to be slowing down your game. If anything, they're going to be allowing you to make more and more plays, and I really think that Dandelion is one of the most broken cards in Link format, just because it generates you so much advantage, especially with the effects of Firewall Dragon being able to add it back to your hand. So thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, as I said, leave them down below. Don't forget to like this video if you want to see more combo stuff like this. I'll also be doing a deck profile when I've got some idea of what I actually want to run in the main deck for this Link style deck. And I'll also be doing some actual meta, both duels and deck profiles in the near future, because I've got some friends who are going to the Birmingham Regional in the UK, so we should be able to get some deck profiles from that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Savoring this moment, this is our last goodbye.